Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Many people who are considered to be celebrities have also dealt with the realities of life, such as being let go from their work. In this video, we are taking a look at 5 celebrities who were fired from jobs. Number 5. J.K. Rowling.
I went from utter obscurity. It was like being a beetle.
Is it true that you still take the bus?
J.K. Rowling is considered to be one of the most famous celebrities in the world, and as you might be aware, that is all thanks to her brilliant work in creating the Harry Potter universe. But every one of us has to get their start somewhere, and for her, it was working at Amnesty International. Even though she had an amazing job, her heart just wasn't in it. As we now know, she was busy writing Harry Potter during her work hours. In hindsight, this was no doubt one of the best uses of her time, but she made one crucial mistake while doing so. The laptop she was using was her work laptop, so as you might have predicted, she ended up being fired from her job. Firing her turned out to be one of the best decisions ever made by the person who did so, because it ended up with the world being gifted the wizarding world that we have all come to love. Number 4. Madonna. Another female personality that has now won the world with her work is Madonna. Through her catalog of excellent music, she has made a name for herself in the music industry and has won several awards during her career. But all that couldn't have happened if she hadn't been fired from a job at Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, that's right, she actually had a job at Dunkin'. One of the most interesting details about this whole story is that she didn't even last a full shift while working there. She reportedly splashed a customer with some jelly, and that was somehow enough for her to be let go. One of the reasons for this sudden firing might have been the high-profile location of Times Square that she was working at. All this happened just 4 years before she made her mark on the music industry, and she hasn't stopped since. Number 3. Mark Cuban.
How do you get rich? Rich is all relative, so there's certain things you need to do in order to put yourself in the best position to be.
One of the most surprising celebrities on this list is Mark Cuban. If you didn't already know, he is one of the richest people on the planet and has a net worth of around $4 billion. But before all that, he was just a graduate that had a job. Due to his entrepreneurial spirit, having a job wasn't enough. This is why while working for someone, he was slowly but surely planning his first business. As it so happened, his 2 aspects of life ended up colliding with one another. This happened when he failed to open the shop he was working at due to his commitment to meeting a potential client for his developing business. This must have taken guts, but in the end, he was fired from his job for neglecting his duties. Don't feel bad for him though, he now owns the Dallas Mavericks basketball team, so it all ended up working out for him. Number 2. Carrie Washington.
The notion that we are not enough is a lie.
It's important for us to remember the joy.
She might be one of the most underrated actresses that are working in Hollywood right now. Carrie Washington has been hugely successful at acting, but like many other people on this planet, she too had a rough start. Her career story is wildly different than what you may have imagined. When she first got a start in the industry, she was cast in 2 TV shows after leaving a remarkable impression during her auditions. But this didn't last very long. Interestingly, before either show had begun airing, she was let go from her jobs. Imagine gaining 2 jobs and losing both in a short amount of time. It would leave anyone else devastated, but not Carrie Washington. Number 1. Robert Downey Jr.
This mustn't register on an emotional level.
One of the most famous stories about persevering through hardships comes from Robert Downey Jr., who had a lot of setbacks in his now remarkable career. During his early career, he had developed a drinking habit, and in the Hollywood industry, that isn't tolerated for a long time. Even though he recovered after being put in rehab, he fell off the wagon again after he had gotten a part on Ally McBeal. This was the last straw for the people working on the show, and so he was fired from it. As we all know, this ended up being hugely favorable for his career because it landed him the role of Iron Man, and that is one performance that is sure going to be remembered for a very long time. These were 5 celebrities who were fired from jobs. From these stories, we can see that losing a job isn't the worst thing in the world, and it can often lead to better possibilities. That brings us to the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. If you enjoyed the content, then do leave a like. So until next time, take care and goodbye!